Hey guys, here we go. In the words of Dak Prescott, Dak has monopolized that line of here we go. But Chip Kelly, we're going to talk about Chip Kelly. We're going to talk about some NFL playoff games today. A big commitment that ends up going the way of the Buckeyes again. So a ton to talk about. And guys, view the channel because I should be dropping these videos tonight, okay? But let's first talk about Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly is rumored to be very interested in the NFL. And this could be another coaching domino that falls in this ever-changing coaching cycle. We had a late retirement, of course, with the greatest football coach of all time, Nick Saban. Nick Saban retired, a huge deal in the world of college football and in the world of football and in the entire world itself, even outside of this country. Then Kalen DeBoer ends up going to Alabama. But now I'm going to center the video on this focus. It's that UCLA and Chip Kelly. There's all sorts of problems with UCLA. They only took in 11 commitments this year. There was a huge firestorm that's brewing here about why did UCLA lose their defensive coordinator, Danton Lynn, the son of Anthony Lynn? How did they lose him to the crosstown rival? And I bet that there were some shenanigans that went along with that story because, I mean, the rumblings of how USC was able to get Danton Lynn from UCLA through some channels, I just think that there's a story there that I don't ever know is going to see the light of day because you hear these podcasters out there that are terrific that I listen to, and they talk about the process of how USC was able to get Danton Lynn, and it seems to me that it's a crazier story than most have made it out to be. Chip Kelly has already lamented how frustrated he is that the Pac-12, concluded, the Pac-12 ended. He talked about how there's no leadership in the sport. He doesn't like that his top quarterback, Dante Moore ended up leaving in the portal, and how he's having trouble developing talent because talent is just leaving immediately. And he probably needed to promise Dante Moore some playing time to even get him to decommit from Oregon. But also, I know this. So Chip Kelly lamented a lot in that rant about how he wants the college football to be its own entity, how he doesn't understand why softball and water polo and all these other sports are all getting thrown under the umbrella of conference realignment. And Chip Kelly is a Northeastern New Hampshire guy, and I'm telling you guys that at Westwood, the boosters don't really like Chip, and I don't think Chip likes the boosters. And now also in basketball, Mick Cronin and UCLA basketball has been the stalwart of Westwood, of UCLA sports, has been its basketball program with John Wooden, and then the years with, Kevin Love and Russell Westbrook and even, Aaron Aflalo and all those teams that I grew up with, Drew Holiday and every Holiday, player that came from Drew Holiday, meaning his family, his brothers, everybody. UCLA basketball is a power, and Mick Cronin right now is having a lot of problems with boosters. They are really falling behind with NIL. And even though UCLA has a share of the Big Ten money, they still are having a problem with, I believe, their NIL department. That's just reading through the tea leaves, and that's even hearing from basketball people. So right now, UCLA athletics has a problem on its hand. They have a problem. And Chip Kelly was rumored after he lost to Arizona State. Chip Kelly, I thought, did a decent job at Arizona State. I mean, or UCLA. Going 8-4 at UCLA is pretty dang good. And their defense was really good, but now they just lost the defensive coordinator. So UCLA football, I think it's an overrated sort of job. It might even be like Arizona, where, I know that the Arizona kids are actually staying, which is I commend them greatly, the players that are staying on Arizona. But it's looking right now like Chip Kelly's interested in the NFL. And for UCLA, with the problems with the boosters, with them switching conferences, I don't think that there's a whole lot of continuity between the president, the boosters, the AD. I don't really think that everything is in such cahoots there. And even with Mick Cronin and how angry he's been lately and how bad basketball has been, but also the fact that they wanted to fire Chip Kelly. And if I were Chip Kelly, I would also be angry about that. And now Chip Kelly is flirting not only for an NFL head coaching job, he wants to be an NFL assistant coach. He wants to leave being a head college Big Ten coach. And when you're in the Big Ten conference, you have a seat at the big boy table. It's the SEC and the Big Ten nowadays. But Chip Kelly wants to give up living in LA, being on a beautiful campus at UCLA, because he hates the way college football is going. And we see this, Nick Saban ends up, retiring from the game. Jim Harbaugh wants to get out of the game of football. There's a lot of, incredible coaches that even in college football that are really tired of the way that things are the way that things are going about with conference realignment, transfer portal, and all of that. And Chip Kelly, he wants a new contract, and UCLA right now, they're not willing to give it to him. So it's a stalemate, and I really think that UCLA is going to be in the market for a new coach, and that could impact a lot of programs. If Michigan comes open, that's going to impact Michigan. So, man, oh man, it's going to be interesting to see with Chip, because here's the thing about Chip going to the league is that Chip then doesn't need to recruit. He can just draft, develop, and can formulate his own offensive attack, and maybe he can get along with a defensive coach. And not a lot of owners are signing up to hire Chip Kelly as a head coach. So as an offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly can have power over the entire offense. And that could be very attractive for somebody that is willing to work with a Chip Kelly. I don't know if that's going to be Mike McDonald. I don't know if that's going to be a DeMeco Ryans, if Bobby Slowick leaves, or is Dan Campbell and Chip going to really, get along great? Is Chip going to want to coach Jared Goff? I mean, that all remains to be seen. So all of this is news right now. And we'll see what happens with Chip Kelly, but it's something to monitor going forward.